Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Nitro Racing League here on the channel. It's been a few weeks. The last week out I actually couldn't get my game updated, so I had to actually pass on the last race in the Nitro Racing League. But we're here for Darlington Raceway. 2 races remain here in the regular season, and for this race here in Darlington, unfortunately, I qualified down in the 10th position, and this was an interesting race to say the least. There was quite a bit of drama towards the end of this thing, and then we actually had quite a bit of action going on at the very beginning of this race, which you'll see very shortly now as we get underway from this 10th starting position. But like I just mentioned, only 2 races remain here in the regular season, so running out of time now, but we've got 4 wins. We're in the playoffs, nothing for us to worry about. We're just trying to get as many playoff points as we can here before this regular season ends after next week at Daytona International Speedway. Now, as we're already having some free wide racing, a little bit of contact with the 41 as we came through at a turn 4, now nearly some contact with the 42 of Cameron here as we come through to complete the first lap, up 3 positions already as we go down into turn 1 behind our new teammate of Outbreak, who came over from Hendrick Motorsports now to our team here at Joe Gibbs Racing. Now as we go down into turn 3, there would actually be a crash here on lap 3 already with the 24. I get collected there after getting hit by Karma, and a whole bunch of cars pile in, bringing out caution number 1 on the day already here. So wrecking would not stop until we got to like the finish line there, but we came through to the truce cone, chose the outside lane, and we would get back going right away here on lap 6 of 57 here in stage 1. A lot of laps in tonight's Nitro Racing event now as you get back underway in P11 here on the outside of our teammate of Jonathan there in that number 19 as we come through at a turn 2, a little bit sideways there. Now as the 18 of our teammate of Outbreak gets put into the outside wall. Bryce no longer in that 18 car now, as like I said, it is Outbreak. There was some controversy at Watkins Glen, and now he is left Hendrick Motorsports as there's another crash there as we managed to get to the inside in time to avoid it, but it was a huge incident behind us as a caution comes out for the second time already here tonight. So far, the most laps we were able to get going under green was like 2, and we were really struggling to start this race here in Darlington now as we got back underway once again on lap 10. So far, most of this race already been run under the yellow flag conditions as we're on the outside of that 19 out of turn 2. Then once again, there you saw the 95 and the 8. Then it came together, the 8 came back up the track, and a caution is going to come out again because there's another big crash behind us. So once again, we would actually just line right back up, get ready to go for another restart the very next lap. So this was already the 4th restart of the race after 3 cautions in the first 10 laps of this event now, as this time though it looked like we might actually get going in the right direction now, as we were starting to wonder if we were going to have to go to maybe single file restarts or just call no cautions at all if there was a crash in the first couple laps of a restart. But fortunately we would finally get things under control here on lap 12 as they actually went crashing again behind us now. So maybe they're not under control there as we get hit by the 10 car nearly into the inside wall there, as you would carry on though and drop in behind the 48. But we would stay under green flag conditions now as there was not enough cars in that incident to bring out a caution. Then we would actually repass the 10 car and try to run now down our teammate of Jay. So we came through on lap 18 of the stage, and we were finally now starting to get everything sorted out as I get to the outside of the 95. I was bringing our teammate of Jonathan with me as well as we came through out of turn 2, passing Jay. He actually would go spinning on the exit of turn 2 into the inside wall. Hard he goes. He crashes himself. He just got onto the apron a little bit too much or something, or he hit a bump, he said, and unfortunately it took his car around. But we come through all the way to lap 29 now of the first stage, and we had gone absolutely nowhere. We had run down the cars in front of us, but still hadn't gained any positions. Now as I get sideways there, and then I decide to let Jonathan go because he was definitely faster than me at this point here early on in this race, as the 48 of Tyler actually comes into the pit lane. So Andrew Wisdom, he was actually out front dominating stage 1 here. Nobody really seemed to have anything for him at this point in the stage. I didn't really think I was going to have anything for him either. Now as we came through out of turn 2 going down this backstretch. So myself and Jonathan together there as he actually gets into the outside wall on the exit of turn 2 now on lap 35. And then we came through on lap 37. Jonathan, he had come into the pit lane. Now I decided we're also going to come into the pit lane here, as there was quite a mixed strategy going on here. But I'll take 4 tires. That was obviously the strategy to go with now as we would exit the pit lane here. Jonathan, he would get past me. MJ right there in front of him now as he came through out of turn 2, as MJ was yet to come to the pit lane. He lets us go though on the front straightaway as we came through to the 39th lap of this race, and we would actually run down Jonathan with no problem at all, which was a bit of a surprise to me here, as he was definitely struggling getting back up to par here, or back up to speed. And then we would pass him down the back straightaway on that 42 after he would just kind of pull over, let me go. And then we came through now on that 46, so we had cycled out into second place after that stuff happened, but I could not drive away from Jonathan, so I actually decided to let him go back by me because I thought he was faster, and he would actually pull a good gap between himself and I now as he came through down the front straightaway. Now coming to lap 51, you see he actually slams into the 10 car, who was around, not ghosted, but I guess he didn't actually hit him on his screen or something, because you can see Jonathan would get back going. But we came through all the way to the final lap now of stage 1. We had run down Jonathan again. We got to the back of him here as we came through turns 1 and 2. Andrew Wisdom driving away with the stage victory. Absolutely no competition for him in this first stage as we go down the back straightaway for the final time here as we go down into turn 3. I was hoping Jonathan would overdrive turn 3 and I could slip by on the bottom. I told him, I was just like, I'm going to move you in turn 3 and hope that maybe he would actually believe me and send it off into turn 3, but he did not, and we come through to cross the line just behind him here in stage 1 for the 3rd position. So overall, after starting in the 10th spot, a very solid first stage for us now, setting us up very well now here for stage 2. And something that happened right off the bat here in stage 2, Andrew actually didn't get into the pit lane between stage 1 and 2, so he would actually pull over on the start. I'm not sure, maybe if he was just away from his wheel or controller between the stages there, but I'm actually not sure. Like I said, I didn't actually ask him about it, never really got a reason for it, but either way, he went to the back. But we know how much speed is in that 9 car right now, so we know Andrew's going to be back up in the mix before you know it. And there is so much time here in these stages at Darlington. We actually dropped down to P3 though, behind our teammate of Matt there in the number 20 as we go down into turn 3. Personally, I enjoy the top lane a lot more on restarts here at Darlington, and with the choose cone being a thing in Nitro, it really does help when you get to choose that outside lane and instead of being stuck. Of course, though, at the beginning of a stage you do not get to choose. Now as we go through out of turn 2 nearly into the outside wall, you saw the 4 car of Durham. He got up my inside, then Cameron in the 42 is going to get up my inside as well as we go down into turn 3 now, as the 4 car is going to slide up the track into the outside wall. He goes, the 42 is up my inside as we're stuck behind him there. As we exit turn 4 into the 42, I decide to actually just pull out of things here and let these guys go by, the 48, the 24, as well as our teammate of Outbreak here and the number 18 and even the 41 of Christian now, as I just kind of got annoyed right there. So I said, I'm out of it, you guys can go have at it now. It's come through out of turn 2. The 4 now into the outside wall there. He would get back going, but myself and Christian actually split him 3 wide, and then we're back up the inside of Christian in the 41 car into turn 3, and we will actually pass them and move back up into P7. So right now, the leader was the 19 of Jonathan, still in his rookie season here in the Nitro Racing League. As we get sideways out of turn 2 and now on lap 7, and I actually crashed myself on the exit of turn 2, and I was doing my best to save it, but I did not do a very good job. As we go into the inside wall, a couple more cars go crashing of the 95 and the 8, and that brings out the caution here on the 7th lap in stage 2. So we would just come into the pit lane, put 2 cans of fuel on the car, 4 fresh tires, and choose the outside for the choose cone and get back going here from down in now the 10th position here, as we are right behind the 95 of Jay and then the 9 of Andrew. Now as they're all coming together into the outside wall, and then we make contact with the 95 of Jay, but you saw the 18 of Elbright go to the outside wall. Then I get hit again and get hit into the 8 of Venom into turns 3. We now go down in P11 after a chaotic restart. And one of the problems that our teammate of Eddie was having there in that 18 car, he was actually having basically where everybody on his screen was lagging, so he could not really actually tell where everybody was, and you're going to see the effect that it had on him later in this stage and whatnot. There's a little bit of contact between myself and Venomous there in that 8 car, but we would all continue on our ways. We came through now on lap 15 of stage 2. It was very hard to believe that we were only on lap 15 of this second stage now, as we're right on the back of him there as he gets sideways or something there. I decide to back off, let him back in line as we go down into turn 1 as he's side by side with the 41, and I'm just going to follow the 8 there through turns 1, move now up into the 10th position, and now we would get to the inside of the 8 as we came through out of turn 2, nearly making contact now. As you see up ahead, there's some problems too. The 48 of Tyler, he went to the inside wall along with someone else there. I think that was Durham in the 4. Then we get to the inside of Jay now on lap 20. We pass him, and we're just moving our way slowly but surely forwards. We'll get to the inside now of Durham in the 4 car on lap 22 of stage 2. Pass him for P6 as we will now try to run down the front 5 cars. And sure enough, we would run down a 4th place of Cameron in the 42 as he hit the outside wall. I get to the outside of him immediately, able to take that position away as I got sideways there on the exit of turn 2. Now as he came through the center of 3 and 4, now on lap 27, we would actually get a caution here in stage 2 for a wreck that happened towards the back of the pack. So we all came into the pit lane again. We were P4 going into the pit lane, we were P4 coming out, and I chose the outside for the restart. Of course, Andrew, Jonathan, they chose the bottom, and then Andrew's teammate of combat there, and the number 24 Connor chose the outside as well with myself, as come through the center of 1 and 2, doing my best. The only risk about being on the outside is you can get slammed into the outside wall. Now as we come through out of turn 2, but we all kept it clean right there now as we go down this backstretch right behind the 19, as that would let him in line there as we came through on lap 32. Now still a lot of time to go now as they would actually go crashing behind us. A big incident there through the center of 1 and 2, and that would bring out the caution yet again here in Darlington. So we came through down the back straightaway. I actually crashed myself under caution. I let go of my steering wheel to test the force feedback, and you saw the effect there. That was all the wheel just doing it itself. But we would get back underway once again now with 19 laps to go in stage 2, and once again I chose the outside. Now I don't think I chose the bottom at all throughout this race, but we had some contact with the 4 going into turn 1, and then the 48 got into us as well, and that puts us into the outside wall. Unfortunately, it was just a really weird moment now as they would go crashing behind. No caution came out from that, but yeah, like I said, just a really weird moment there, and we all just kind of came together, and unfortunately we were down now in P7, but we had worked our way back forwards because we were even further behind off that restart now as we get up to P6, and we were just quickly rallying our way back forwards now as the 18 puts the 4 into the outside wall. And if you remember earlier, I mentioned the 18 could not really tell where people were on his screen, and that's what happened there as I hit the outside wall on the exit of turn 2 on lap 42. I hit the bump in the wrong spot and just slammed the wall, and look at all that progress we just lost right there. But once again, we would rally our way back forwards, get up to 7th, then look to the outside of the 4 and get past him as well with 7 laps to go in stage 2 as the 19 of Jonathan was still out front in front of the 9 of Andrew, and I was a little bit surprised he was holding him off, but by the time we came through to the final lap of stage 2, Andrew would actually get past Jonathan and easily win stage 2 again. Now as we came through the center of 3 and 4, now to the back of the 24 of Connor as we exit the corner. It's going to be close for that final stage point here in stage 2, but it's going to go to the 24 of Connor in that Liberty University patriotic throwback to Jimmy Johnson back in the Coca-Cola 600 from, I believe, 2013, if I remember correctly, or was it the All-Star race or something like that. But we came through going green now for the start of stage 3, and the 18 of Eddie and Slash Outbreak's struggles continue because everybody went before the green flag on his screen, and then so he was kind of stuck there. That was very unfortunate for him, but it really helped me here as we move now up into P4 as we come through down the backstretch. 5th place was belonging to our teammate and league owner of Matt there in the number 20 cars. Go down into turn 3, getting up the inside of the 19 of Jonathan. I knew at this point I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive throughout this race. I didn't really feel like I was being aggressive enough when I should have been, so we were trying to turn it up a little bit here with 66 laps to go here in Darlington. Now as we go up the inside again through turn 1 as well as the center of turn 2, and we will pass the 19 of Jonathan there as we exit turn 2. So now we move up into P3, and to my surprise we started running these guys in front of us down. I didn't really make any adjustments throughout the race, so I didn't really think we had anything for Andrew, but we get up the inside of his teammate of Tyler into turn 3. A little bit of contact between himself and I there, but we clear him for now 2nd place and try to run down that 9 car, and sure enough, we would start closing the gap to the back of Andrew Wisdom here as he actually gets into the outside wall there on lap 131 through the center of 1 and 2, and that allows me to close up right on the back of him here as we go down the back straightaway. I actually clip the outside wall, and then I just kind of stay in behind him here as we go down into turn 3, but myself, Andrew, and Jonathan in the 19 were all very even, it felt like, here on speed. And then the 48 of Tyler was really fast as well. He just kind of had that moment there. Now he was a little bit behind us as we come through now on lap 136. Still same situation. I'm running here with Andrew, and I felt like I was actually really good through turns 3 and 4 and pretty even there through turns 1 and 2. But the 10 car, he would actually go a lap down Blake there as he would let us all go down the back straight away as we come through the center of the corner. And now a little bit over 40 laps to go in this race, but we would just continue on like this now as we came through out of turn 2 on lap 146. I get a little bit looser, and I knew, I was like, you know what, I'm able to stick with Andrew, but I can't pass him, so I decided to let Jonathan go and see maybe if he can try and have a shot at passing the 9 car of Andrew. But now the tire light had come on lap 150, and Jonathan, he came into the pit lane now as the 48 of Tyler. He was actually running us down, but we came through a few laps later on lap 152, and myself, Andrew, and Tyler all decided to come into the pit lane together on the same lap. So we come through trying to close up as much as I could there to the back of Andrew. So we came in and put 4 tires on the car, of course, 2 cans of fuel, and come back out here, and it's going to be close between myself, Andrew, and Tyler. Now, as Jonathan, I should mention, actually got a speeding penalty when he came into the pit lane, so his chances of winning had gotten completely destroyed without a caution anyways, and we would exit out here behind Andrew in that second position here. So we would continue now to 30 laps to go in this race, and once again, we try to run down the 9 of Andrew Wisdom as we come through the center of 1 and 2 on lap 155, and we would be able to start closing that gap to him once again now as we came through on lap 158. Tyler in the 48. He had done a very good job sticking with us here, as it was now a still 3-car fight, just this time instead of Jonathan in the mix. It was Tyler now as we came through on lap 160. We had gotten to the back of Andrew on the exit of turn 2 as he actually gets into the outside wall. We go to the inside and we make the pass on a move to the lead for the first time here today in Darlington as we go down into turn 3, and it took us 160 laps, but we're finally going to be able to lead a lap now here in tonight's race at Darlington, so that felt really nice. Now as we came through on lap 164, still leading, but Andrew did an incredible job sticking with us here, as I was really hoping I'd be able to pull away, and I felt like at some points I was able to just barely pull away, but he would kind of close that gap back up as we were now starting to run down some lap cars up in front. This is where things would really start to amp up now as we were closing in on the back of Andrew's teammate here of MJ as we go down into turn 1 on lap 166, and Andrew's still about probably 2 to 3 car lengths behind, just kind of in that position there to still maintain as we go down this back straightaway. And we're sure enough down the front straightaway, coming to lap 167, get to the back of MJ into turn 1, and to my surprise, he actually goes up to the outside, comes back down right in front of us as a lap car. I get into the back of him, slide up the track, we get sideways out of turn 2, some contact with Andrew Wisdom as we exit turn 2. He hits the inside wall, doesn't actually go crashing, still maintains P3, but this started a big argument between myself and MJ over the party chat. I was not happy at all with him, and I show it here on the exit of turn 4 as we go down the front straightaway. I swerve at him a little bit now, as that was probably not the brightest thing to do on my end. I could have definitely crashed myself and thrown the win away, but very frustrated I was, to say the least, with MJ there, because basically the conversation was, I was like, you're a lap car, why were you doing that there? But overall, unfortunately, Andrew was the one that got the worst end of that now, but after the race we were all cool about it now. There was no hard feelings against MJ now as we come through out of turn 4, so please do not go and say anything bad about MJ in the comment section. Now, it's at the end of the day, it's just a video game here as we go down into turn 1, and we had Tyler actually putting some pressure right on the back of myself. I was going to show the argument in the video, but I was asking MJ for permission, and he hasn't actually gotten back to me at the time of making this video. Now as it came through though, we would fortunately stretch out the gap between myself and Tyler, and just hoping that a caution wouldn't come out. This this final stage surprisingly has stayed green the whole time as we come through to 5 laps to go in this race, and that was the cutoff right there for cautions. So no matter what, we cannot have a caution come out at this point towards the finish now. So as long as I don't screw up, we will actually come through to win this race. So we came through to start 2 laps to go. We were running down our teammate of Eddie there in the 18 into turn 1, and now as we came through to the final lap here in Darlington, we've gotten 4 wins this season, most recently at a track that I don't even remember where we won at. It might have been Indianapolis or something like that, but as long as we hang on here, we will come through to get win number 5 on the season, as the tire light of course comes on, but obviously at this point has no effect whatsoever as we go down into turn 3 on this final lap here in Darlington. Jonathan unfortunately had that speeding penalty, put him way back. Tyler though in second place, Andrew down in 3rd as we come through to win our 5th race of the season. A little bit of drama, of course, towards the end of that race there with MJ in the 88, and I felt really bad with what happened to Andrew Wisdom now, as I'm going to show you guys the point standings after Darlington here. So Andrew still leads the point standings by 8 points over the rookie of Jonathan now, as he had 3 straight wins there from Gateway, Kentucky, as well as Chicago. So 1 race remains in the regular season. It's at Daytona. I honestly had no idea we were this close to the end of the regular season. So now I'm aware, and hopefully we can go to Daytona and maybe win. Jay, our affiliate teammate, is in a very close position right now. He has 4 points or so, or something like that, to the good, if I'm not mistaken, to make it into the playoffs. So honestly, I think we're going to be doing a lot of trying to help Jay at Daytona to make sure he gets inside the playoffs and whatnot. But it's going to be a good race there now, as there you see, is, like I said, the point standings on your screen. We are locked in down in 10th in the points, but the most wins surprisingly on the season. But as always, If you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do, and I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this one. Of course, it really does mean a lot to me. And I just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members here of MJ himself, Aiden, Tony, Dylan, Joseph, RJ, Timothy, Bubba Jr., Mr. Johnson, as well as NASCAR on Dogs. You guys are helping me a lot here, and I'm really thankful for it. So like I said, thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.